But you also talk about anger. So let's talk about talking about anger and move to Veronica from New York City, who wrote that she had read an interview I did for Cosmo about arguing in a healthy way. I think the title of the article is something along the lines of argue for greater intimacy. Um, I often say, arguing should bring a couple closer together, because what is arguing? It's being honest about how you feel. It's being real. And what is intimacy but being real with one another? So I guess I don't have a lot of detail from Veronica's questions, uh, but I would like to focus on just some of the healthy habits of fighting that I see a lot of couples don't practice, at least those who are having difficulty, and find that arguing pushes them further apart rather than bringing them together. And those habits include interrupting. When someone's talking, pay attention as to whether or not you're interrupting. Pause, have a cup of coffee or whatever it is that you can do to take a moment and listen. And it's much more than not interrupting. It's also about listening without judgment. So if your partner is saying to you, I'm really angry with you because you don't listen to me, or I'm really angry with you because you never help out around the apartment. Most people will respond, well, but I do help out. I do listen to you. Rather than respond or react, listen and reflect back your understanding. So let me just make sure I understand you. What you're saying is that I'm not helping out around the apartment. And that may seem like an impossible task, but let me ask you a question. Is defending yourself, is responding or reacting to the accusation you don't help out, making things better? And I know the answer is probably no. What do you have to lose by just absorbing it, listening, and letting the person know that you've heard what they've said? In fact, you've lost no ground whatsoever, because you're not admitting that they're right and you're wrong about whatever it is you're arguing about. And instead, what you're doing is you're conveying respect, judgment, and a willingness to hear their point of view. If it's genuine, they will also want to hear your point of view, and you're that much closer to finding a resolution to the problem. And frankly, the problem is rarely what the thing is that you're arguing about. It's rarely about who's helping out around the house. It's rarely about who takes out the garbage. It's usually about whether the other person feels cared for, feels loved, feels respected. And what better way to convey love and respect than to really show genuine interest in what your partner has to say to you? So if your partner is complaining about you, I can't believe you do this, that you parked the car or you parked it again. Take a deep breath and just try and be, like I often say, like a journalist, rather than, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and just simply reflect back what you've heard. So you're really upset with me because I parked the car in the wrong place again. Is that right? Yeah, I'm pulling from specific examples in my head. I don't know if you're watching me, if you live in New York City. That's where I am today. Where not a lot of people own cars, although we seem to have a lot on the street. But the point is that it doesn't matter what you're arguing about. What matters is how you argue, how you have disagreements. One last comment before I sign off. Another of the really bad habits that lead to toxic arguments that push people apart is kitchen sinking it. And you've seen me talk with Bethany about this on her show. When she and Jason start to argue, they will start to throw in lots of other issues. When they're arguing about, for example, his in-laws and visiting them, all sorts of other things get introduced into the mix. Focus on one topic at a time. Take a deep breath, listen to the person who's upset with you, and show a genuine interest in their point of view. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to say you're wrong. The act of listening is not a concession that you're wrong. And look, I'm not telling you something that I don't think you know intuitively. Listening with genuine interest and empathy. Boy, it must be frustrating for you to, that I don't want to spend time with your family. I can see why that makes you angry. You win, because what you're doing is you're reaching out to the person, you're letting them know that you care about their experience, about their complaint. And you're then able to start to do some problem solving like the first question we got from Connie. You know, in her case, it's figuring out, is it the anger? Is it going out, staying out late? Is it that they're drinking when they go out? Is it clinical depression? These are the kinds of things you can sort out. But before you get there, you have to learn how to argue in a healthy way and practice some of the 7 habits of healthy arguing, which I talked about in that article that that Veronica mentioned that was in Cosmo. So I hope this was interesting, and more important, I hope it was helpful. I'm really looking forward to the conversation we're going to have here at Ask Dr. Amador. And thanks so much for your letters and for your interest. And I'm going to sign off now. And it's just you and me recording this right now. Take care.